Welcome to the DecisionLender 4 Underwriting Experience. This process can be typically completed in less than 2 minutes for an experienced underwriter. Once an application is submitted into DecisionLender 4 in branch, online, or via a dealership, it will populate a work queue. This application is configurable based on the lender's preferences. In this demonstration, an underwriter is notified that an application has shown up in their work queue. They proceed to open the application, which has already had credit pulled on it. All of the ratios are factored, such as the DTI, the payment to income, housing cost, etc. The application has already run through their decisioning engine, and in this case, the application needs to be reviewed by a loan officer. The loan officer or credit analyst will mark themselves as the working user. The user may view the initial loan structure that was submitted, as well as applicant details on the primary credit score, co-applicant details, and the combined values of the two. Additionally, the user can see a high-level overview of the applicant and co-applicant's credit. Since this is an auto application, the collateral details can be seen on the far right. From this point, a typical underwriter will view the evaluation page. This is the decision engine, which will show the user the rules that failed. In this application, there are issues with loan losses, LTV, and trade line issues. To view all rules that were run through, the user can uncheck the Show Failed Only box. All criteria that were rendered from the decision model will be viewable. From here, the user may take a look at the credit bureau, which has already been pulled using the subscriber's bureau codes. In this example, we are using TransUnion, but other options include Experian or Equifax. Upon clicking the applicant's name, the credit bureau pops up in another window. TCI renders the credit bureau format in two presentations. One is the TCI Common Format, which will take all three bureaus and put them into one similar layout and design. Or, if the user prefers the traditional method, they can click the Human Readable and see the traditional credit bureau format they are accustomed to. A loan officer would then go into the trade line editor, which will populate all the trades from the bureau and calculate the current DTI, proposed payments, GMI, as well as their shortcuts for housing cost override and income overrides. The trade lines here that are populated from the bureau are sortable and editable. For example, the user can sort via secured, unsecured, or based upon revolving, installment accounts, or balances. Anything listed with the letter E has been excluded on its own, based upon the user's preferences. If the user was trading in or paying off this particular credit card, they could exclude this from the debt-to-income calculation. Now a UE icon has taken the E icon's place, which means the user is excluding the aspect for the DTI calculation and then rerunning the values back through the decisioning module. At any time, the loan officer can take notes on the applicant just by clicking the Notes tab. A dialog box will appear, which can document internal notes, or, if this was an indirect application, the user could send the dealer a note and then make the documentations throughout the process. Returning to the loan structure, the user will see what the applicant requested on the left. The offered values are on the right, including DTI and LTVs. In this example, the user will create a new offer. The total cash price will be $23,000, with a dealer acquisition fee of $500, GAP at $399, warranty at $1,299, 66 months for the term, and at a rate of 4.61%. The user will save the work they have done. Once the user is prepared to make the offer, they will reevaluate the application and resubmit it through the decision model. The user will click the decision button and change the decision status. If changed to counteroffered, the user would select denial reasons. In this example, the user has selected approved. The user can attach notes along with the decision. Since the user has policy enforcement on the front end, this case system is telling the user that they had an override loss amount that is greater than $50. The loss was $109 in this case, which is outside of policy. However, because of the user's role within the system, they may document why they are making an override. All of these overrides are system adjusted, as well as relevant to the role and who the user is. Once the counteroffer or the approval is made, the decision is sent back to wherever the application is originated from, in branch, online, or the dealership. If it is a branch application, the user would prepare the contracts in the Funding for Review. The user would click the Contract Prep tab and is presented with two options: physically printed and signed paper agreements or electronic signature. The loan officer in the branch would simply click the Documents button. All documents are housed within DecisionLender 4 or within integrated document preparation providers. The system is using a series of rules to automatically define which documents belong in the packet. In this example, the user will use DocuSign, which can be done in-office or remotely. Once the Send to DocuSign button is selected, DecisionLender 4 begins to prepare the documents that are relevant to this automobile, along with gap, warranties, and the contract itself, and uploads them to the e-signing environment. Note that the rules will define the specific loan documents associated to the specific loan product. The documents are presented to the consumer or member, and they click the Sign button. The DocuSign pop-up window will open. All values and formulas have been calculated. Once prepared, the user may click the Sign button and then Finish. The contract signing process has been completed. Once the documents are signed and rendered, the loan officer will see a completed e-sign certificate of the contracts under the Review tab. If they were to scan in copies of a driver's license or any ancillary documents, they may upload those attachments here. The transaction is complete from a loan process standpoint, and now the application needs to be pushed over to the user's servicing and core system for fund dispersal. After selecting the yellow Funding button, the user will select Docs Received. The contracts, loan approval, etc. are moved over to their servicing system, and the account is created. The funds are dispersed, and the loan officer has completed the process. This completes our Underwriting Experience demonstration.